I've spent a lot of time on the mountains by myself over the years. You know, I'm quite happy in my own company in the mountains. Just the sheer pleasure in being outdoors is immeasurable. Whatever you're doing, you know, whether you're running, biking, walking, there's just great joy to be gained by being outside. There'll be places I get to or views that I see that will remind me about Sophie, our daughter, beautiful daughter. The pain does come back at times and it does feel desperate. But you can't be like that 7 days a week, you know, you go nowhere. I've run forever, not because I was a great runner, and I've always been one-paced. As I've got older, that one pace has got slower. In the run-in to Soph's death, she was training to do this half marathon, and she'd been trying to persuade me to do it, and I was just ignoring her actually. And Laura, Soph's mate, who she'd been training with, was going to run it. And I actually thought, well, I can't let Laura run it by herself, that doesn't seem right. They allowed me to take Sophie's entry and run on her number effectively. It really felt such a positive thing. The thought of her and what we were doing it for kept us going. December the 19th, 2018, our house phone went, and it was George, Soph's mum, who was in absolute hysterics. She'd just got a call from Sam, Soph's estranged husband, to say he'd got a text that Soph was sorry for all the mess that she'd made of his life and the pain she'd put him through, and signed off with a "please don't bury me." It's just the sickness, sick, the pit of your stomach feeling, and it is just awful. It's excruciatingly painful. It really did feel like pain. And this kind of, I suppose, not knowing why, you know, what's just happened, you know, it just didn't seem real. It just did not seem real. But it was exceptionally real. Grabbed some stuff and jumped in the car and headed up to the flat that Soph and Sam had, and we effectively waited. Just waited. There's absolutely nothing we could do. Soph had actually said where she'd left the car, and then on the Saturday, so 3 days after Soph had gone missing, I got a phone call to say that her body had been found. She was just a beautiful little girl. She spent a lot of time in the outdoors. Whether she liked it or not, she got dragged up mountains. I remember taking her up Helvellyn once by myself. I remember I got home and my mother gave me a right bollocking for taking her up so high by myself, which is probably right. As she got older, she grew up into a real beautiful woman, an absolute smiler. She signed up to do a nursing degree, and nursing just suited her. She fell into it and it fitted her. She was incredibly well respected, and everybody just loved her being around because, a bit like us, the energy and the smiles and the fun that she added to our lives, she was doing the same thing within the nursing environment. There was no indication, absolutely no indication, that she'd got to a point of feeling suicidal. I know personally I've been very good at hiding emotions over the years. You know, in '96 I was got to a point where I felt suicidal. I didn't have anybody who I could reach out to, which, you know, in hindsight is a stupid thing to have thought, but that's what you do. You get blinkered, and you know, the feeling of doors closing rather than opening. At the time, papyrus didn't exist. It wasn't founded until a little bit later on. But actually I phoned the Samaritans, who helped, and the day after that particularly black moment in my life, I did reach out, and people helped me. If you allow yourself to be open, people step forward and help. Sometimes it's the unexpected people. The strange thing for me with Soph's suicide was the person who found Soph's body. As he phoned the police, said he would sit with her until the police arrived. He didn't know us, but he was thinking about us when he sat with Soph until the police came to collect her. And Soph would have loved him. Such a nice chap, such a nice chap. And he came into our lives as Soph left. After she'd killed herself, the last thing I wanted to do was a half marathon. Obviously there was lots of things to think about. And running a half marathon was definitely the lowest of priorities. But by doing that, it meant that the next day, it felt like a very positive thing. It became clear that we had a good hook on which to raise awareness.
Hello folks, here's today's Run for Sophie. Hello, here's today's Run for Sophie. Today's Run for Sophie.
I ended up doing videos daily, Run for Sophie videos, and spread the word far and wide, and we generated tens of thousands of pounds. That really gave us something to get our teeth into, knowing that if we could help Papyrus, we would help them save lives. You know, and here we are, nearly 2 years later, and to still be given the opportunity to keep spreading the word is fantastic. I miss Sophie every day. I think about her every day. I miss her every day. And there are times that it's more painful than others. There's no point staying miserable. You know, we decided on the day they found Soph's body, that we had to go on, because whether you like it or not, life does go on. There's a photo I carry with her in my rucksack every time I go out. So it's also got the map in and the compass. But in here we've also got 2 photos, both with Sophie on. Actually on the shelter at top of Cross Fell, which where we're sitting here is actually just over there. And Sophie and I were up in full-on winter conditions in what turned into a whiteout, and we had to navigate our way off using the trusty map and compass. It was one of the times I think Soph was most impressed with my navigation skills. Feels as though Soph's always with me. It really does feel like Sophie's always with me. I don't often look at it. I look at the photos because I don't need to, you know, because we've continued to talk about our experience. You know, she's just here and with us all the time. Right at the heart of all this is the need to talk, because that is the only way that people understand how you feel. The vast majority of people will actually reach out a hand. You know, if you don't know where you're going, or you don't know how to get to where you're going, you're in danger of becoming lost. and to have something, some kind of compass, an emotional compass, is something that everybody needs.